Well, moving on, and this one
Yep.
won't be as long, but this is Square Enix.
Okay.
I don't know how much you don't strike me as a big Squares guy.
I respect them. I respect the games they release 100%. They are big titles, and they are very important to our gaming culture. I just never got into a lot of them. I tried,
Okay.
but I just haven't.
Well, we'll see how much back and forth we can do here. If not, I at least have four.
Okay.
The biggest one that I know we're going to see, so I guess it's not a prediction. Kingdom Hearts 3 release date.
Yep, Trey actually wrote that as well. He
Good.
thinks we're going to have a Kingdom Hearts 3. I think they need to, right? I mean,
I
this
thought
game's
it was-
been in the works for how long?
I could be wrong, but I thought it was confirmed. Like I thought they said that we're getting the release date for E3.
Well, good.
Yeah, I mean it's been in the works for so long. We know it's coming this year at some point, but give us like an actual date.
Now, that's not PlayStation exclusive, right?
Correct. It's
So-
open to Xbox as well.
I will probably play that one.
Good.
I
You
never
should.
played the first two. Well, that's not true. I played the first one a little bit. I played it, and it was at the point to where, to me, because I wasn't, and we've had these podcasts before, we talked about how, like, Final Fantasy, it just looked too dated for someone who never played it before to really get into it.
Sure. That's honestly I like that they re-released all of the games on PS4 because it
Right.
makes it easier to go back and replay them.
Right.
Because there are some that I haven't played yet that I want to get around to before 3 comes out, and I've just had them this whole time, and it's just been sitting there. So I'm
But
excited
I will probably
to
pick up that.
Oh yeah, it's great that they're bringing it to Xbox, and with them bringing it to Xbox, I wouldn't be too surprised if they brought those remasters to Xbox.
I
as
hope
well.
they do. If they did that, I would pick those up in a heartbeat. And then, I have a PS4. And again, we've had these discussions. I only keep it for my exclusive big titles.
Yeah.
And it's 100% worth it because those exclusive big titles, like, look, I'm not that big into God of War. I respect it again for what it is, and it is fun. But I have that system for those games.
Sure. Yep.
So maybe it wasn't a big hit for me, but it was a big hit, and I at least have the accessibility to play it.
Right.
That's
right.
why I have it.
Yep. Do you have anything before I go down my list for Square?
I'll kind of mix mine and Trey's because I had some
Cool.
things and Trey kind of said some as well. So me and Trey both think we'll get a new Hitman of some sort.
Nice. Okay.
Like and I don't know how Trey thinks of Hitman, but in my terms, I know Moon Pickle's a huge Hitman fan. It's like one of his favorite games is Hitman.
Wait,
I
Trey?
think or Moon Pickle. Moon Pickle.
I was
One
like-
of Moon Pickle's favorite games is Hitman. He's a
Okay.
huge Hitman game. Same with Riley from Average Geeks. Huge Hitman fan.
Cool.
I would like to see if they do another Hitman game. I don't want to see an episodic Hitman game like they did the last one.
Right.
I want a full-fledged Hitman game because I would buy that. I didn't do the episodic thing because the whole thought of an episodic Hitman it didn't appeal to me. But I would play a Hitman game, like a full-fledged Hitman game.
Right. For sure. I never got into them, but I loved the way that the last one looked. The way you could take out people in just so many different ways.
The
It was
contracts
a lot of
and
fun.
stuff were neat. Mhm.
Yeah. And they were all timed, right? To where
were.
you'd only had. I like that idea. I think it's cool. And we've had that discussion with Pokemon even having timed legendaries and stuff.
Yes. Yes.
So I mean, making it
Yes.
so you always have a reason to go back.
Correct.
Next on my list, and you'll probably appreciate this one. This is another one that I think you would pick up.
Okay.
The Avengers game that they announced.
I forgot all about that game. They haven't
Right?
talked about it in forever. I would, yes, 1,000 times yes, I would pick that game up in a heartbeat. I hope
For
we see
sure.
that. My gosh, now's the time too.
So
Like,
that's my thought process behind it, and maybe that's why we haven't heard about it in so long. I mean, if they've been working with Marvel, they've known the movie timeline, so they probably planned it out to where okay, Avengers hype is at an all-time high right now.
oh yeah,
It makes sense to release your game after that.
oh yeah.
So I could honestly see us getting. It's been quite a while since we got that teaser, so I could see them showing off gameplay and a release date. I could see it
Right.
coming out this year even.
That would be amazing. I would absolutely love a good Avengers game.
The only thing that scares me is just because that's the way that Square works. Think about how long we've waited for Kingdom Hearts 3. How long we've waited for the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Right.
I mean, they have these games that everyone wants to play, and they're working hard on them. I'm not saying don't rush them by any means, but they take their time with it. It might be a while until we see anything else, but I at least expect to see a trailer of some sort, if not a release date.
Honestly, I would expect it to be after Part 4 or Part 2.
So you
Like,
think Interesting. So you think it's actually going to tie in with the movies?
Not even necessarily tie in with the movies, but in case of spoiler reasons, for whatever reasons of anything, I think they would release it because Avengers is going to be right back up where it is right now once the next movie launches. And if they were to show it off this year and say the movie comes out next May,
sure,
and they release it at the end of next May, your game's selling. Your game's selling like hotcakes. Like
for sure,
it'll be bonkers. So I think that's a.
I misunderstood. Point. You're saying it's releasing after Avengers 4.
Correct.
I thought you were saying the game will take place after, like the game, like the story itself would take place. That's why I said that.
No.
Okay.
I mean the release date would be after 4 because of that reason. It would be a smart move on their part.
I agree with you then, 100%. That's the time to do it. So yeah, keep the hype going with a trailer. Release it after Part 4. You're going.
Maybe have a beta of some sort, right? Maybe have just a little online test server beta of something. Because did it look like an online game? I didn't see a whole lot.
There was nothing. All they did was show, I think they showed Iron Man's helmet, Cap's shield, and maybe Thor's hammer.
Okay.
They didn't show hardly anything.
Okay.
So we have no idea what it's going to even play like.
Because you'd assume if it's Avengers, you'd want to be playing Avengers with your friends, right? I mean, that would be the thought, maybe? I mean, I don't know.
I would hope so. I would hope it's at least some sort of co-op kind of game.
RPG, multiplayer game.
Yeah.
We can only hope.
Yeah. Do you have anything else for Square?
So Trey and I both agreed we'll probably see a Final Fantasy VII trailer. We'll get more on Final Fantasy VII.
I hope. I really do.
Trey also thinks, and I highly doubt this, but Trey also thinks we'll get something for Final Fantasy 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean,
like,
I don't.
Maybe.
I want him to be right for sure because
Right.
I want to see the next Final Fantasy game as well because I loved 15. Like 15 blew me away. I did not expect to get into it as much as I did. Now I could see them announcing it because they announced 15 years ago and it took them a long time just because that's how Square is.
Right.
So I would not be upset in the slightest if they at least announced it.
Okay.
So I'd be behind that for sure.
The only Final Fantasy thing I think we'd get, like other than 7, would be more 14 stuff. Like I think they'll throw out a 14 expansion and they'll show some stuff like that. That's the only Final Fantasy thing I think of.
Okay. I mean, other than that, the only other thing I had was Tomb Raider gameplay. I think we'll probably see because Shadow of the Tomb Raider's coming out this year, so we'll probably see some more on that.
Right.
Nothing surprising though. So really, other than their big flagship this year is going to be Kingdom Hearts 3 for sure.
It has to be. Be.
You know, still following up with I think their other big surprise could be following up with Avengers. And I did also see a rumor that they had another Marvel game that they were working on that was like untitled. So who knows if we get a teaser for that or?
Hey, I don't care. They can throw all the Marvel games at me right now. That'd be great. Go for it. Have fun.
I would like to. I would love to see more of these bigger studios take on superhero games because I think growing up we realized that there were just no good superhero games.
Right.
Or if they weren't.
Superman 64. What are you talking about?
Right. They just weren't fantastic. So I'm glad that we've got people like Rocksteady, that showed us what a good superhero game can be. And now we've got Activision. Oh, I know. And now we've got Activision working on Spider-Man, which looks amazing. So we know it can be done. Square's bringing Avengers. I hope this just like sets a trend for what superhero games will be moving forward. But yeah, that's all I have for Square, unless you've got any final notes. Cool. Moving on to Ubisoft.
Yep.
And I'll touch on this first. Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay.
We already know it's announced. Taking place in the Greek era.
Right.
So we can expect a lot of 300 Spartan style stuff, which I'm looking forward to.
Kick the guy.
Right. Yeah. That little teaser just with the Spartan kick that was perfect.
Right.
I'm excited for it. I like that. I like the architecture. I like the timeline. If it plays like Origins, because I dropped Assassin's Creed for a couple years, I loved it up until Black Flag. I was very mixed on Black Flag, and after that I stopped.
Black Flag actually. Of all the Assassin's Creed games, that was the one I enjoyed.
And a lot of people liked it because the ship battles, which I can understand.
It's still probably one of the best pirate games out there. Like Sea of Thieves is really good, and it's phenomenal. But I still think as far as pirate games go, like Black Flag was still just probably a better pirate game.
Sure, yeah. And you didn't play Origins at all, right?
That's not true. I played it a little bit,
Okay.
and I think I liked it. I think I liked it. It was the only main reason I picked it up was the RPG elements of it. Like,
Okay.
like the battle numbers and stuff like that. Like that was the reason I mainly picked it up, and it was good. It was very fun.
Yeah.
I stopped playing it because other games came out that were more important to me.
Yeah,
So maybe if I
that's
would have
always a
picked it up
struggle.
when it if I would have picked it up when it first came out, I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more because I did like the whole thing that game brought to the table. It was different enough to where it probably would have grabbed my attention if something else didn't come out.
Right. And it's maybe kind of nerdy, but I love that I'm learning things as I'm going along playing Assassin's Creed.
Right.
Like I'm actually learning about history, which I've never really been big on.
If it's
I've-
real.
Right. I've always liked like more mythology than I have like actual history. But with the with Origins, like all the stuff I was learning with like how things worked, it was just
Right.
really cool. But I was
I
having
agree.
fun the entire time.
I
And
agree.
with Origins, they actually came out with a it was like a history mode or museum mode, something like that, to where like you just went around and like you just learned things.
Right.
Like how cool would that be if schools actually used that to like teach
And they
Egyptian
can.
history? Yeah.
They
Like how-
can.
I think we could see something cool like that in the future, to where that's how kids get some, especially history. Maybe not so like math,
Right.
but you could do stuff like that with history and science
Right.
and stuff easily. That's going off on another tangent though, but as far as an actual prediction,
Mhm.
I would say we'll see Division 2,
Oh, I forgot about Division.
and I think.
Ooh.
And I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting on this train too much. I think we're going to see with the battle royale mode as well.
Okay, but Division would work.
It would
See,
work.
that's a thing.
I
Division,
agree with you. After your point earlier, admit I definitely see your point to it, and I think this one it would definitely work with.
Division it would work well with. I would see it in the Division. I'm okay with it in the Division. What they need to do, in my opinion, to fix the Division, because the Division is a great concept, great idea.
Yep.
They need to make the combat way more intriguing than just bullet sponges. That's the reason it killed me. Like,
Sure.
literally, it was go from point A to point B, and between point A to point B to grab whatever you're trying to grab or do whatever you're trying to do, it was just bullet sponges. There was
Sure.
no, like, oh, look, the guy with the flamethrower. Oh, he has a ton of health. Let me just load into him a billion times. Like, and that's all that game was. The most fun that game had was when you went to the, what was that zone?
It's like the
it was actually
blackout
PvP.
zone or something.
Yeah, when you went to the PvP area was the best time of that game. So if they need to make it work, they can do an actual game mode like you said, because I don't know if they actually had game modes. I think the Division was one of those you log in and you're just in this world.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But if they do like a thing to where you can go to like, and it could work really good in the Division, because it could be
Yeah.
one of those things that game would be great Hunger Games style. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
you're gonna drop in here, and if you win, you're gonna come back with a lot of loot for yourself and stuff that you can actually use in game, right?
Sure.
So that could work really well with the Division. So I really hope we do see something like that. And again, maybe it's not 100 people, maybe it's only 20, maybe it's you versus 20 other people, but
that concept is still
that
there.
concept could work
Sure.
extremely well with the Division. It would definitely get me way more into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were definitely all misled from what we saw from like the trailers and everything to the finished product.
It's like
Granted,
Watch Dogs
I-
all over again.
Right. I haven't. Oh, I forgot about Watch Dogs. What else do you think we'll see from Ubisoft this year, Tim?
One that I'm hopeful for, and Trey also said as well, I really hope we see, because I know they can do pirate games right, I hope we see more Skull and Bones.
Interesting. Because I think it was actually slated to come out sooner, but I think they pushed it. And this could just be me, just guessing here. I think they pushed it back because of Sea of Thieves.
And I'm okay. Like, so look, Sea of Thieves is fun. It really is. It is a fun time. It's a lot more fun with friends.
Right.
And I have I love Sea of Thieves, but I do have my beefs with it. But that's not for this podcast.
Sure.
But playing Black Flag and being like really one of the only Assassin's Creed that I really enjoyed because of how well the pirate element of it was.
Right.
I think that Skull and Bones can be very, very good, because they can
Okay.
take, in my opinion, what Sea of Thieves is lacking, because Sea of Thieves is a very big. It is, you are on the same level as everybody all the time, no matter what.
All the time,
which is fun, but can be boring at times. As to where Skull and Bones can make it to where, like, look, if you put 20 hours into this game, there's a chance you're going to have a way better armored, way better built ship than guy who put 3 hours into this game.
Yes.
And if guy who put 3 hours into this game comes sailing around to you, they might want to think about turning around.
Correct.
You know, like that's the kind of pirate game I want. Look, I'm okay with getting wrecked in a game. If it's my fault that somebody came after me and they're way leveled than me because I did something stupid to them, that's on me.
Sure.
Because they did add elements to Sea of Thieves where you can put like a little safety flag on there to tell people, hey, look, I'm not a good guy. I'm not a dick, right? Which is good. That was a good element. But like, I think Skull and Bones can do very well. I think Skull and Bones can see what Sea of Thieves did, see what they need to do better at, and make a better game.
Okay. I think we will see a Splinter Cell game.
Yes. That was so.
I figured I would steal that from you.
Because
I knew it was coming.
Something. I was saving that for something. That game, I told you earlier. The game. This was off stream. There was one game that I really, really, really hope we see among all else. All other games at E3. I want to see Splinter Cell.
Really? This was the game?
This was the game. I want to have another Splinter Cell game. You get your Metal Gears, all right? And you have fun with those, and they're good games.
No, not anymore. I'm done.
I'm sorry. You're right.
That's a sore subject, Tim.
That is. But, like, I am so ready for another Splinter Cell game. I know a lot of people didn't like Blacklist, and that's fine. Y'all didn't have to like it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for a couple reasons. One, it had a very easy way to do speed runs, Mr. Trevor, and speed grades and stuff like that, and it was a fun time. It had a leaderboard system where, hey, you're doing level 1-1. Did you do it better than Trevor? Yeah, good job. Trevor, you can go back and try to do it better than Tim now. And it's that competition inside those little things that gets me.
Gotcha.
But Splinter Cell is my stealth game. Like,
sure.
Always has been, always will be. And I really hope we see that. I've heard it's teased. I heard something about Ghost Recon and stuff like that, and how there's stuff like that. I hope you're right. I hope we see it, and I hope it's as glorious as I want it to be. That is my big game for E3 is Splinter Cell.
Well, I feel bad that I took that from you.
No, that's okay. I got excited, so you're good.
What other than Splinter Cell do you either think we're going to see or that you're excited to see?
All right, so your number one game here that you're super excited about, I think we get a Just Dance 2018. How about you, Mr. Trevor?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for.
So that was a joke thing. Like that Trey actually wrote that because we
nice.
know we're getting Just Dance. But I think, and this goes along with something Trey told me as well, and I agreed with him. I think we get some more Beyond Good and Evil.
Okay.
I think we see more on that for sure.
And I had that on mine as well, as far as Beyond Good and Evil. That's one of those games that I've always heard great things about, and I've just never gotten around to play it.
Right.
So if they do announce... I mean, the trailer last year was gorgeous. I mean, it was just a CGI trailer, but still, it had me excited for the kind of world that I would experience in that kind of game.
Right.
So I'm excited to see more Beyond Good and Evil 2. And I think if we get more information, that is really what's going to drive me into finally playing it. And that'd be something that... I mean, that'd be fun for us to do since we've never played it. To kind of build it up. Let's see. Actually, that's all I have for my list. You took my last one.
I have a couple more.
Okay, go for it.
This next one is Trey. Trey says, he thinks we might get another Rayman game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because we haven't had anything since Legends, right?
Right, and so we haven't had anything since Legends. So he thinks we'll get another one because even Legends was still an Xbox 360 game. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. I mean, it just keeps re-releasing. It's one of those games like Skyrim that just keeps coming back.
He thinks we'll get a Rayman Legends.
Okay.
I think, and I know it's really close to its release date, I think we're going to get some at least information, whether it's upcoming content, whatever, for Crew 2. Because that's their big racing game. And it could be really good. The Crew could be really good. The number one was pretty solid, but I think they're at least going to talk about the Crew.
Okay.
Those are the ones I have.
Definitely not up my alley, but I could see that. Thanks for listening to FAMcast. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/forallmanakind. You can also find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and Spotify, so make sure you follow us there to keep up with the latest episodes.